Today we have a 2006 Ford Mustang here in the shop for the CD changer not working, or actually we had it in last week. We're going to reinstall it today, and we're going to show you how to take the stereo out so you can show you how to put it back in. But we're going to start with opening the center console, and at the very back here we have two Phillips screws with the top opening, or with the top open, one on each side. I'm going to remove these two screws. This is going to allow you to come back up to the front of the dash and pry this trim ring off from around the gear shift. Work your way around it and it'll pop up and around. Next we're going to take the keys, put them in the ignition, set the parking brake, and shift to a lower gear. This is going to allow us to pull up the back of the center console, lift it up and up over the gear shift, pull the parking brake up a little bit more so we can wiggle this up over it and up and set it to the side. Next, this is going to allow us to take our pry bar and pry the side panel along the left side back. This will release. There are several clips that hold it in place. 1, 2, 3 clips. These clips release with pry pressure, and we're going to come back and remove the right side as well. This entire panel pulls back. Next, this is going to give us access to the front panel here. We're going to need our 7mm and remove the screws starting at the top right here and working our way down the right side. We have a full library of removal guides and videos along with self-help and do-it-yourself repairs on our website at carstereohelp.com. Please see our site if you have any other cars or questions or speaker amplifier problems. We remove the 3 screws down the right side. And we're going to move over and remove the 3 screws up the left side as well. Now on this panel that we're going to remove, we're going to release several of the connectors, not all of them. We have the passenger airbag sensor here, which is going to come off with this front panel. I'm going to pull this panel forward, it'll release, and this will allow us to sneak around to the back of it and release the connector on the AC controls at the bottom left here. Start with locating the trigger on the connector. There's a trigger on the side of the connector and that will pop off. Next we have a second connector here on the bottom on the right. It has a gray collar on it, and you push the tab down and the collar swings around, it snaps out. Now we're going to turn the panel up sideways and hold it up above the dash while we put the stereo in. But this connector here is different than most. It sits in the front dash like this. There's a little trigger on the top here that you have to squeeze down a little bit, and as you squeeze this down, this gray collar will spin around or work its way around here. Push the trigger down, and then what this does is it moves around. It pushes the connector out of the back of the radio. And in order to put this back in, it has to be in this position. It pushes in, and as it goes in, it pushes this up, and you pull it in by locking it back up. Next, we're going to have several connectors here on the back of the stereo. These connectors are all keyed, and they have triggers on them that squeeze down into them and release. The trigger on this one is on the top, and you would push the trigger down and it would release. The second connector also has a trigger at the top. Could you show us the trigger on the top of one of those? There you go. The trigger. Yep, okay. And then we have the final connector along with the antenna that plug into the back of this. The antenna is just a press fit, and that's removed just by pulling that out of the back of the stereo, and it just pushes back in and locks in place. And then we have our final connector over here that's going to go into the back of the radio as well. These connectors are all keyed so they only fit one specific spot, and this is going to allow us to put the radio back into the dash. There's a pin on the back of the radio that mates to an opening back behind the stereo. This is going to allow you to put the stereo into place, put the 4 screws back into it, secure it to the dash, and put this back together. Hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.